Later. All right. Ready? Welcome to the Instapreneur podcast. I'm the host, Jimmy C. And today I'm very excited to announce that we have the first guest. Not only is it our first episode, but it's also our first guest. He's a good friend. His name is Mr. Tim Cauni. Thanks for coming out, brother.
Thanks for having me, Jimmy. Super stoked to be here.
Yeah, so it's cool. So how I met Tim, actually, Tim and I, we'd always been friends in high school growing up, but we were just kind of friendly. We never really hung out much. But actually, last year, we hung out one night and we had some drinks, and we came up with this great idea of a road trip. And we're both kind of the guys that, like, when we say something, we do it. So we literally the next day scheduled a 10-day road trip to the state of Colorado to go snowboard through the entire state. So that is how Tim and I became pretty good friends.
Yeah, must I say that was an awesome trip.
So we started out here and we drove to Durango, Colorado, where I actually went to school. We hung out there for a few days, snowboarded. But why I'm bringing this up is this is literally kind of what Tim and I or where we became really good friends, because before then we were just kind of friends. But when you're forced to live in a car for 10 days with someone, you fucking better get to like them quick, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. You really get to know them super personally. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that much.
Definitely. So what was one of your highlights of that trip? What would you say?
Highlights of that trip was honestly driving over Red Mountain Pass. I think it was. We were coming over, and I just remember like that was about, I want to say, 5 days to the trip, and it was like, man, this trip is really dope. It's really coming along. This is incredible, and I was just having such a good time riding with Jimmy too. And I was just, dude, that was my highlight right there.
Could you tell that I only had 1.5 seasons of riding in before that?
Oh yeah, it was a little noticeable, but
Yeah.
definitely, dude, definitely you hung in there,
I
man.
tried.
You ripped it even when I took you on some pretty sketchy stuff, some stuff that was pretty tough, a little on the expert terrain side. You just looked at me. You're like, all right, man, let's do this. Let's get this done.
Well, speaking of let's get this done, that's a crazy thing about snowboarding that I've realized is you get yourself in these situations, and I guess we can relate them to like work and life. Excuse me, life too, because when I'm snowboarding with you and your buddy, and we're on like blacks or double blacks in the trees and moguls and all this shit, I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, what am I supposed to do? I can't do this. But what am I just gonna sit on top of a mountain or figure it out? Like, I had to just go down. So I mean, I didn't hit any trees, so I came out alive. But sometimes I guess snowboarding can relate to life in the fact that like you're gonna get in situations that you don't like to be in, and then you're defined by what you do. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
could have just
Always, sometimes, you bite off more than you chew, but, you keep on chewing. That's
Yeah.
it. You got to keep on chewing at that point.
definitely. So Red Mountain Pass, that would have been, I think that was, yeah, we were for a few days in Durango. We stayed with some friends, and then we went up to Red Mountain Pass. So if you guys haven't ever gone on a road trip, I highly suggest you do it, and don't really have any plans, because that's kind of what we did. We just stayed with one of our friends, Katie. She let me stay at her place for a couple nights, and she went and stayed at her boyfriend. So we had her whole house.
Thank you again, Katie,
Yeah,
for
Katie,
listening to this.
you're the best. Was totally not expecting that to happen. But anyways, like Tim and I were forced to talk about some cool stuff, crazy shit, because we were in a car for 20 hours just to get there, not to mention
Life experiences. When you're in a car that much time, you end up talking about everything under the sun.
Yeah, you can't just talk about Netflix and chill and all that shit.
Yeah, eventually you kind of get to that point where you really start to personalize with the person and get to know them and really connect, and you really start talking about things that normally wouldn't in a daily conversation would not come up.
So yeah, speaking of talking about things, yeah, I just lost my train of thought there. But we're gonna change topics. I wanted to say, and then this is when I lost my train of thought. I wanted to say, if you guys do go on a road trip, Tim has a very good method that I am now a fan of. So, like I said, it was a 20-hour road trip. I thought we were just gonna each drive 10 hours, and then just switch it up because I just do that drive by myself when I was out there. But Tim's like, no, I got this down, dude. I do this all the time. I'm like, all right, dude, I'll listen to you. So we each drove for 2 to 3 hours
At most.
at most, and then it was a cycle. So we left at 5 in the morning. So he drove for 3 or 4 hours, and then I drove for 2 to 4 hours, and then the other one would sleep. If we weren't sleeping, we were talking or
Yep.
resting. But that was a good method, dude.
Yeah. My whole thing behind it was if you just keep switching, you can't get bored. Sitting in one spot, I don't know. I feel like I always had a little bit of ADD. Sitting in a spot for 2 hours. You're like, dude, let me switch this spot. Let me stretch out a little bit.
Dude, definitely. And not only is it you don't get bored, but I found the trip to go way quicker.
Definitely.
In your head. Because if you break it down, it's like I did 5 2-hour trips. That's how I look at it. I didn't do just a 10-hour drive. That sucks. We just did a 2-hour drive, then you did a 2-hour drive, and it was just next thing you know, we're in Denver, and the drive's beautiful from there to Durango.
Yeah, you never really get tired, but definitely driving to Nebraska.
Ooh, yeah.
Never is fun. I wanted to say that part of America over there, if you got to drive through it, use your cruise control. You're going to appreciate it.
And throw on this podcast.
Yeah, definitely. Throw on this podcast.
But yeah, so that's kind of how Tim and I met, and we became really good friends just through that time. I mean, I will say there was probably times where he got sick of me. I know there's a couple times where we got annoyed at each other.
Oh, there was time I wanted to smack the crap out of you, but I'm just like, all right, I think we just need our space.
Yeah.
So I went for a walk.
Yeah, and not only did you go for a walk, he went for a couple-hour drive up to Ouray.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. When I went out to Ouray, I saw the ice climbing out there. Yeah, the ice climbing park. That was really cool. Got to drive up through that pass. That was beautiful scenery over there because the Rockies kind of, it's when you get into Ouray, kind of opens up and you kind of can see the flats after it. So it's just these huge mountaintops ending to these flats. Absolutely pristine and gorgeous.
Yeah, very neat. If you haven't been out there, you should strongly recommend it. All right, so enough about our road trip.
Yeah.
Diving into Tim. So I have Tim on the podcast today. Not only is he in for the week for Colorado, actually he moved to Colorado, but he's in for the week for work, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so him and his dad own a business, and I'll let him explain a little bit about it.
Yeah, so what we do, we specialize in hardwood flooring, installation, sanding, repairing, new homes, old homes, commercial, residential. And my dad's been doing it for, I want to say now, I want to believe it's 35 years.
Damn.
Yep. And I've been at it for, I think this year is going to be the 9th year, going on 9.
So you pretty much started that right after high school then?
Started right out of high school. I actually used to, my whole life I grew up working with my dad.
Okay.
Summers weren't, you know what I mean?
They
summers,
joy.
They were fun, but dad always kept work in there.
Yeah, that's kind of how my dad was too, and now it's just kind of programmed into me. When I was, a sophomore in high school, I was working 40-hour work weeks in the summer.
Yeah.
Everyone's at the beach, and I missed it. But when I look back at trying to do what I'm doing as far as creating this podcast, working at my kennel, and then creating the Crafty Pup, it's like, how the fuck do I do all this sometimes? I ask myself.
Oh, yeah, because I feel like doing all that, you learn at a young age, just organizing your daily life, organizing everything, organizing your time, work ethic, patience. There's so much that comes from that at a young age, and when you're young, you kind of pissed at dad.
Yeah.
You're like, come on, man, I want to go hang out with the boys today. Have some fun. The girls are at the pool. Sean's hitting on Bianca, and I was feeling Bianca, but dad's like, no, I would come into work. It's Tuesdays. It was Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I would work for sure, and that was dad. And you know what? Having that responsibility every single week and knowing that really kept me in line, and also made me appreciate my downtime too. That played a huge part in, I guess, a healthy lifestyle too.
Definitely. You got to respect the rest. You need rest. But going into a little bit about your business. So tell me, what would you say are some of the hardships / struggles you see Whether it could be in working, like physical, the labor, or just part in being a business owner. What are some of the problems, struggles?
Struggles is just one of my. It's just you're always on the clock. I want to say
Yeah, I agree.
everything's always on you. There's no one to call to kind of bail you out, especially when you're starting. Like we're not a very large company. We are two permanent employees, you know, and we have two temp guys who rotate in. So you can consider that like three people. Right? But and having those guys aren't really, it's construction. So in the construction field, getting good workers, good consistent workers is definitely a hard thing. Most people do love, once they learn a trade themselves too, they go and try to do it on their own, which, my father has always been supportive of people who worked for him to do that. But, it's just one of those the daily struggles. Again, another form of like just human resources.
So they kind of, if I'm understanding this right, they kind of come to you, work for a while, learn, and then kind of dip out.
Yep.
Got you. Yeah, that would definitely be a struggle.
But, most of them, the ones that are cool and the ones that like respect it and they respect having that mentor teach them that, they always come back and help when asked. Like, it's nice. We've had a few guys do that. And man, I'm going to say, like, even when times got tough and we got busy, or, so someone got sick and hurt, and they would show up, and I was like, man, like, awesome. And it goes back to that mentorship that my father, I guess, gave these people.
No, that's good, and I couldn't agree more. It comes down, I think, to treating people good. When you treat people good, whether it's customers, friends, when you go somewhere like Chipotle, for instance, and you treat the guys that work there good, I feel like it always comes back.
Oh, yeah, they give you that extra
You know what I
walk.
mean? Well, if we're talking about that, I treat the guys at Chipotle nice, and I hope Chipotle doesn't hear this because they might get these guys fired. But I get double meat, guac. Occasionally I'll get chips and guac, and the guy hooks up for like $8. And I've never ever once asked him. If you don't know, it should be like 15 or 17. It's just because I treat them good, dude. Like, I walk in there, I look at people around them. I like to analyze like other people's behaviors in public situations, and everyone just treats them like shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then I come
they're
in,
totally disrespectful.
totally disrespectful.
Like
I want guac and chips and more beans. Like, chill, lady. Like, relax.
That's usually Karen, don't worry.
Dude, it's like, I just feel bad for these employees. I'm sitting behind them like laughing. I'm literally laughing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, so going back to business, I think that when you treat people good, it's going to come back to you. And there's going to be people that screw you over. That's part of business, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Some
The
people...
amount of times that we've had clients just pull every car in the book and to avoid payment, and you do your best to cut your losses and minimize those, and you take the hit and move on.
Dude, speaking of trying clients doing things to get out of it, I got a little situation that happened today. So we have one of the things I think is one of the most like coward things you can do is a customer, myself included. I wouldn't do this to someone. Is leaving someone a 1-star review for something that is not a big issue. Like, we had a customer leave us a 1-star review because we required specific vaccinations for their dog. Now, we're not going to get into the specifics, but moral of the story is that is, in my opinion, not something that you would leave a business a 1-star review on. And what really bothers me is people get emotional and just like go to Yelp or Google and just like, fuck these people, I'm leaving them a 1-star review. And then like they don't even know what they said the next day, and it's like, do you realize like if you actually had a bad experience, that's fine. So I'm not saying don't ever leave a bad review, but I'm saying like if you're just unhappy because you didn't get the answer or the discount or whatever you wanted, you can't just go leave someone a 1-star review.
No,
I think that's BS.
I think it's totally bogus. But like there are always those kind of like trolls on Yelp. I guess on Google they just go around leaving bad reviews too.
That is very true.
They have it all the time. We had one on our company.
Yeah.
And TLT Flooring is our company. If anybody's asking, if you ever need your floors done, hit us up.
Hit them up. We'll get there at the end of the show. We'll give you the deets.
But they left a bad review on us, and it was funny because we had a client who saw our reviews and saw that one bad review and actually brought it up to us how she thought it was comical that the guy, like, because this was after the whole job was done, and product we delivered, she was more satisfied. And she goes, I thought it was comical because this isn't even relatively close. Like people like that should literally get like blocked on Google.
Right.
Like, but
I agree.
nonetheless, she realized how ridiculous the comment was and just kind of bypassed it. Didn't take it as credible.
Yeah, no, I guess I would agree that most people out there, when they see a review that's ludicrous, they can decipher it. But anyways, getting off the Google review topic, I want to ask you, going back to business, from a personal standpoint, being, so you said you pretty much started right out of high school, so it would have been like 18 or 19. I know you talked about the struggles in the summer, but what else do you face any issues as far as like working too much, not getting enough sleep, or did you ever go to school and work? Or how did those work out?
Yeah, so kind of how it was graduated high school and I took my first semester off. Decided, I'm not gonna go to school. I'm gonna take it off. I'm gonna work. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, so I told myself, yeah, I'm gonna give myself the time, to figure it out and go to work, and maybe something would come to mind. I have a passion in this. So took a semester off, worked, and
You worked for your dad.
worked for my dad the entire time. Worked hard on flooring. That's when it started. And he threw me right to the devil, right in, man. My first job ever was we did a residential building in Ravenswood area in Chicago, Illinois, and it was 65 units. Each unit reigned about 1,500 square feet.
Wow.
So it was a massive job, and it was nonstop work every day. He put me in responsibility for all the wood delivery and all this stuff, man. And
so you probably you're like, what the hell am I just getting into?
I literally told myself, I'm like, one day I actually had to stop and ask my dad. I'm like, Daddy, can I take it a little less? And he's like, what do you mean? You're doing just fine. And I'm like, I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing. He's like, no, you're doing just fine. He's like, just keep doing it. So kind of just when he told me that, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna keep at it.
Well, building on that, that's a good thing. I think that's a great way to learn, just throwing yourself into things.
Yeah, fantastic way. I can definitely account for that. So yeah, it works.
You have to. I mean, that's how I learned to snowboard.
You gotta jump in. Yeah, you just gotta jump in and really immerse yourself in it and figure it out. That's it.
Because and there's really no failure. If you fail, you just takes longer to figure out. I mean, eventually you figure it out.
You just make mistakes that cost money.
Well, yeah, and I guess but yeah. No, I agree. I think that is a great way to learn.
But that's part of it. You can't.
That's a cool thing about business.
You cannot expect to make those mistakes.
Building on mistakes, I'm going to stop you there. I think that making mistakes is one of the greatest things you can do, and you can learn from those mistakes in business or anything in life, really, but business for sure.
Oh, business for sure. I had no idea how to run a hardwood flooring business. My father, he always says, that I'm better at business than he is when it comes to that. But in reality, I'll tell all you guys, he's totally sugarcoating that because he's totally better than me.
Yeah, well, he's obviously done something right.
But nonetheless, he has a little bit of his background. He has no formal education. He fled communist Romania back in '84. Is when he fled. He ended up in America in '86. And then met my mom, had us, and basically started his flooring company. And as soon as he got to America, he worked for two guys in the Romanian community. We were big in the Romanian community, and I'm of Romanian origin. And after that, he kind of just kept on working at it and then stuck to it every single day.
Dude, I'm glad you kind of said that, because one thing that I've learned in this last year or two of creating a business and just really immersing myself in businesses is you got to just stick at it
every single day.
Like, the hardest thing about starting a business and running a business is when you're starting a business, like for me, for instance, I've been working almost a year and 2 months now, roughly, on the Crafty Pup, and I have made $0, not one penny. So my point is you stick at it. Will it work? I fucking hope. I don't know. But my point is you got to stick at it. And going back to me, in our family business at the kennel, I started training the first year. we did pretty good. And the second year, we're on pace to go like well over six figures. So that's like almost a 40% increase, 30 to 40% increase from year over year. And it's just like recently in the last couple of weeks around spring break, I was very busy with training dogs, and I realized like, damn, bro, like I'm talking to myself when I'm saying this right now. I'm like, damn, dude, like the work you've been doing for the last year and a half is finally starting to come to fruition. It's like making a snowman. You just keep rolling the fucking snow.
Yep.
And the more you roll, the bigger it gets. You're gonna hit, a hot spot somewhere and it's gonna melt a little bit, but it's gonna keep going. You might hit a rock or a tree and like cut it in half. But the point is you're gonna face hurdles. But when you keep going, you're gonna recover. And in the long run, like it sounds like with your dad, he's got a pretty good thing going.
Yeah, he stuck at it, and it's great you say that too, because the recession of 2007 back then, that took a huge hit on us. I remember my dad. We had three commercial buildings that I worked on, and two residential, where we did not collect payment because they filed bankruptcy.
Oh wow!
And those accounts total added up to about $1 million.
Oh shit! That you personally lost?
Yep, it was personal loss on materials and all that. So they had a few years go by, and I graduated high school in 2011. We graduated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2011 from Glenbrook North, and times were still shit back in 2011. We all know that.
I didn't really pay attention much, to be
but
honest.
For construction, it was terrible. There was no work.
Yeah.
For some reason, there was just no work. But my dad's business basically started moving, I guess, in 2011.
Okay, and then ever
And
since.
then and then I joined it. It kind of started going to shit.
Oh really?
Yeah, we had bad employees that were toxic.
Yeah, you can't be around toxic people. I'm a huge advocate of that. When you're around toxic people, negative people, it's just gonna rub off on you.
They just didn't want to be at work.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of people that don't want to be at work. We're fortunate enough to have a job where I don't mind waking up in the morning.
Yeah, it's a good feeling, that's for sure.
But before we dive into that, I wanted to touch on one thing because we've talked in the past. I think I'm correct when I say this, and if I am, it's pretty impressive. Your dad has never ever once paid for advertising, right?
Never once paid for advertising.
That's pretty cool.
Never once paid for advertising. Simply word of mouth.
Simply word of mouth.
But that was his best advertising.
Well, word of mouth is like 10 times better than any other form of advertising,
Yep.
Just think of it, if I like call you and I'm like, yo, dude, check out this podcast, like it's dope. You're like, you hit me up like an hour or two later and you're like, damn, dude, that was crazy shit.
Yeah.
Or you'll hit me up and send me some stuff and then, I would never check it out otherwise.
Yep.
But word of mouth kind of thing.
Yeah, coming from a credible source, coming from someone who you trust, telling you that this is good.
Yeah.
It's the most best way to trust. That beats any sales technique. You can.
That is true, and that also relates to dog training. Just how you were saying it, trust.
Yeah,
my dogs
trust.
trust me. That's why we get them to do cool stuff.
Those dogs, you tell them jump, they look at you and they say how high.
Yeah, for real. But all right, I got another topic I want to ask you on. So, you recently moved to Colorado, right?
Yeah, I did.
So when
Golden, Colorado, to be exact.
Golden. When did you move out there again?
Moved out there September 22nd.
Okay, cool.
Of 2018.
So, what have you been doing for work out there?
Dude, honestly, jack shit.
Okay.
I trade a little bit. I trade cryptocurrencies on the side a little bit. Make some money to eat, to have some fun with. But honestly, pretty much living the ski bum life and just skiing almost every day. I think I've gotten upwards of 100 days of skiing this season, and still got the rest of April and all of May to go.
There you go, baby.
Let's see where that goes.
So the reason I brought that up is because obviously you guys don't know Tim, but Tim has worked his ass off for his family and then doing some crypto stuff. And he came to the conclusion that he was going to move. And one thing that really stuck out to me, granted, we're both a little stubborn. I think you need that when you're in the world of business. But people would always ask you, like, the first thing people asked you, right, when you went to Colorado was, what are you going to do out there for work, man?
Yeah, a lot of people told me.
First thing.
And I looked at them, and I was just like, kind of say, I don't know. I'm just going to wing it. But after about a couple months of saying I'm gonna wing it, I kind of realized I don't want to do anything.
Yeah, no, but I think that's awesome because so many people have these, dreams or things they want to do, such as travel Europe for like a month or what, that's just an example. Everyone wants to do that, but
Yeah.
something like those, something like along those lines, and then to actually do it is pretty dope.
Yeah, Colorado was always a dream of mine. Just a heads up, I first snowboarding video I saw, I think I was about like 8 years old, and I think it was Jeremy Jones. He was hitting a cliff, and I think it was Snowbird. Yeah, it was a picture of him hitting a cliff and Snowbird, and I just fell in love with it. Which Snowbird wasn't even in Colorado. I just fell in love with the mountains, and then the X Games came to fruit when we were younger. You remember that?
Yeah,
And it was in Aspen and all that. I just fell in love with it
dope.
immediately. So I was like, Colorado's a place where it wasn't like my childhood dream.
Dude, it's funny you
So
say.
I just chased my childhood dream basically. And
Hey,
sounded. My dad said it did sound childish. My mom was at first super skeptical. I got a lot of questions from the parents. The parents were all like, "About what? You're not gonna work? How you gonna live?" And
you're figuring it out though.
yeah, I just you set your budget definitely.
Yeah,
Set my budget. I don't go out on Friday nights, Saturday nights.
yeah,
I spend my time skiing, so most of my money's on gas. You get the ski passes, which is super cheap, which you buy at the beginning of the season. So you spend
Right.
$2,000 on that, and so your lift tickets are paid for, and then just food and cook at home, beans, rice, chicken.
live under your means.
Yeah, definitely live under your means, but live freely. Have
Yeah.
no responsibilities really, and just it feels good waking up every day and saying, hey, what do we gotta do today? Snowboard.
Yeah, no, that's cool. You send me snaps and videos, and I'm like, I don't even know if I could ski that many days. Like, I feel like there comes a point where I'd get bored.
No, I don't get bored at all. I
No?
love it.
I could be wrong.
I absolutely love it. The thing is, it's one of those things where, like with work,
Yeah.
anything, any of your endeavors, it's a passion.
Yeah,
When you're doing your passion, it doesn't get overdone. You
Right.
can't. It's really hard to overdo your passion.
that is true. That is very true. Yeah, I guess I did snowboard like 40 to 50 days one year, and I just like didn't even want to go one more time. But that was my first season.
It took me 40 days to break my legs in.
I know, dude, for real though. Now you're probably freaking Shaun White out there. But going back a little, you were talking about cliffs, and I just wanted to bring this on the podcast because we had a
Oh,
cool
yeah.
experience with the cliff. We were in
Wolf Creek.
Wolf Creek Pass. If you guys snowboard or ski,
Wolf Creek Ski Resort.
yeah,
was
Wolf Creek
what it
Ski
was.
Resort, yeah,
And it was our first day on a Colorado trip. We hadn't really slept much. Well, we slept like
Just
4
in the
hours
car.
that night. I
Yeah.
slept in the car like 4 or 5 hours and just went straight to Wolf Creek after driving from Chicago to Wolf Creek, which was about 20 hours.
yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And given our driving technique with our schedules worked
That
out.
was
like,
good, bro.
Incredible, because we felt amazing. So where did we go? We got our lift tickets, went to Wolf Creek and rode it, and then I got all like antsy. I'm like, hey man, let's go check out this right side over there. The skiers right where there was some cliffs and I guess a waterfall, and we were kind of looking for the waterfall, right?
We were looking for the waterfall, but actually no. At first, we didn't know the waterfall was there. I don't think because
Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't know the waterfall.
what
Excuse
happened
me.
was we hit the trees and they got 30 inches of snow the night before we got there. So the snow had been down for probably like 12 to 16 hours. We got there. So the streets were still shitty, but they were like a little cleared up. And we get there and we're riding in the trees and powder, and it was just crazy, dude. And there's no one around because Wolf Creek's a small, well, not small mountain, but a lot of people don't go there because it's so hard to, it's
Yeah,
not
it's like
easy accessible.
2 hour drive up the pass.
Yeah.
Just up Red. I'm not sure which pass that is.
It's Wolf Creek Pass.
Yeah, Wolf Creek Pass, and it's pretty rough, especially if you're coming from the western slope. It's gonna be a little harder than coming from the eastern side. So.
Yeah, but anyway, so we're in the trees, and we'd occasionally split up, so we'd kind of yell to each other, and we came to a spot where we just stopped, and I think Tim was stopped up on like the left side of the snow, and there's some trees. It was a cool view, and then I come up, and he's like, "Dude, it's a fucking cliff, dude." I'm like, look down, it's like 15 or 20 feet, probably.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, I'm gonna send it,
dude,
I gauged it. I'm like, I'm gonna freaking send it, and Jimmy's like, kind of looks at me like, what? I'm like, yeah, I think we can send that. I think the snow's good. Snow was really good.
The
Yo.
snow was good, and it goes back to our business topics of like you get in these situations where you're there and you're like, well, fuck, what am I gonna climb back up the mountain?
Given now, it's probably like in hindsight, looking back, it's probably really stupid.
It was really stupid based on the next thing I'm about to say, but moral of the story is it was all powder, so we knew it was powder. We didn't know it was under the powder, but we knew it was powder. So we freaking sent it. I think I went first.
No, yeah, you went first down the left side, which was a little mellower.
Yeah, yeah, because I was
and
like,
then I'm like, I'm just gonna send it right down this fucking shooting gap.
we both landed it though, and it was good. But anyways, talking about waterfalls, we get back down to the mountain. We actually split up for a while. You're right. I did go to the left. We split up on accident, and we couldn't find each other for a while. We were yelling and
yeah, because it bottomed out over there.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not gonna go where it bottomed out.
I think he kind of slowed down.
Yeah.
I took my headphones out with music, and we found each other. But anyways, we get down to the lift, and we're on. It's a 3-man lift, and we're going up, and it's windy and stuff, and cold sunny day, and we're with a local, and we tell him where we were. I forget the name of the trail, but
I forgot.
Yeah, we told him the name of the trail, and he's like, "Dude, there's 3 waterfalls like within 100 yards from that."
Yeah.
And we looked at each other, and we're like, "What?" And
the thing was, the next run or the run after that, we were like, hey, let's go by it and check it out. And we kind of rode by it and looked back, and we looked at it, and we're like, oh yeah,
we were right there.
That's the waterfall.
But
but it was luckily it was there, and then there was that one section where if we kept on going right,
I think it was to the right, right?
Yeah, it was just to the right. That's where it was exposed. But what we were actually on it, but it was frozen.
Yeah.
Luckily.
Yeah, we didn't even realize.
No, but we were on it.
It's crazy shit. So, anyways, yeah, be careful when you're skiing, when you're snowboarding out there. It's
know before you go.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, going back to just how you moved out there and are living, I think that's cool, and I think more people need to just take that leap. So many people get held back by judgment, what people are going to think about them, what they're going to say. You know, I can use myself an example. Like, I'm starting this business. All my friends, everyone knows I'm starting this business. If I fail, like, some people are afraid to fail. However, I look at failure a little different. I look at it as, like, if I fail, it's just a process. I've learned a lot. I could take that elsewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I agree with that. I mean, if you fail, dude, like.
But there's no. I don't believe in
there's a
failure.
little joke that I think my dad said. He's like, he kind of goes, if nobody saw it, who knows? Just keep going.
Yeah.
And you kind of just keep moving on.
But you learn it, you know, in talking about how making mistakes, you learn, whether it's, you know, anything, snowboarding or business. Like, if you mess up someone's floor and you put down the wrong thing and you spend, you know, you lose $3,000, you're probably not going to make that same mistake next time.
Nope. You do not make that mistake twice.
Right. So it's, you know, I've made that mistake where I've, you know, charged someone.
Underbid.
Yeah, I charged them like $300 less or whatever, and my prices are, you know, less than remodeling a house. But yeah, it's just point is you make that mistake and you learn and you kind of move on. Or
I made that mistake. What sucks about that is I made that mistake with like a couple friends, dude. Like you try to like they ask for a good deal because they were boys, or like your friends, and like. You give them a good deal, but it's like, well, you know, now it's kind of almost coming out of my pocket, but you're basically breaking even.
So, you know, it's funny you say that because being in the business that I'm in, a lot of people ask me for discounts and blah, blah, blah. And looking back at it, I talk with my family about this, and I'm like, why are we always the ones giving everyone discounts? Like, I'm still providing a service. Now, maybe for a family or friend, you give them a discount. I'm not saying don't give them a discount, but what I'm saying is, like, I can't just give away my shop for free. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that. It's kind of goes back to the thing where it's like, don't if you have friends and they have businesses, don't ask for free shit from them.
You should support them.
You should support them and buy their shit because you're still going and buying those stupid ass Yeezys that cost $400, and so you're supporting Kanye West. You're supporting those Kardashians, whoever they are. Nothing against them by any means. Just saying. You go to buy Nike, you're buying Jordan. You know what I mean? Like, you're supporting Jordan. Support your boys.
I'm a big fan on that. And then one thing I will say too is when you give people deals and breaks and discounts. Like I said, I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm for it. It's okay at times, but it's always you're like the giver. You're just giving away.
Yeah.
But you usually never get anything in return.
Well, see, exactly. You actually lose. What happened to me at one job? I gave a friend an estimate. I underbid on it. I was, it was his birthday was coming up, so I was like, all right, I'll even take a little. I'll give him a couple $100 around, pay it out of my pocket. And then guess what happens? Some mistakes occur, like that are not our issue. Cost goes up. Now I'm losing more, and I'm losing more. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I gotta charge more. Cost of animosity.
Right.
What it was stupid. I'm not gonna say the dude's name. Not friends with him anymore. But that's cool.
No, but I mean that's the thing, and I think that shows people's true colors is when the times do get tough in business and friendships, and people pull that stuff. I'm never out to screw anyone, and it's very messed up, and fucked up. Not messed up, fucked up.
Yeah, it's real
how
bad.
People are out there to just like scam people. But anyways, let's see what else we got here. Do you have anything more to say on that, or we kind of move on? I think I'm good.
I'm good.
You good on that? So another thing I wanted to ask you is not necessarily about your personal successes or failures, but what is your thought on cryptocurrency?
Right now,
in the future, I should say.
For cryptocurrency?
Yeah.
In the future. Long term, 5-10 years, I would say I'm definitely long on Bitcoin. Definitely long on Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's definitely going to take off. I see it going back to like 20,000 at least, and yeah, I can see 20 grand. Yeah. All right, in the next 3 to 5 years.
I can see
that. But it's definitely 3 to 5 years. Don't be expecting nothing next year or two.
Right.
Nothing at all the next year or two.
No, I mean I agree. I think it's interesting. I take into consideration people's opinions and their views, and I found that so many people are just like cryptocurrency. Oh, it's bullshit. It's a scam. It's this. It's that. It's this. It's that. And I'm like, really? Is it though?
I don't know. I don't see. It could be a scam, but like, I don't think it is. I mean, it's not any more scam than stock market.
What is the dollar though, dude? They just fucking print more of them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. We all see how Wall Street manipulates the stock market. That happens.
It does. It does.
So like, and then they talk about how, the cryptocurrency market is, manipulated. It's like, yeah, well, they kind of both are. At least someone's making money, someone's losing in the end.
Right.
And just, I see it as long as you come out on the winning side.
You're doing all right.
Yeah.
Well, building on that.
Capitalism.
Is it a scam?
No, it's not a scam.
I want to touch on that. What I found is if you know me, you might know this about me. If you don't know me, you'll learn this about me right here. I like to learn. Yeah, go ahead. Tim's gonna take a potty break real quick. I like to learn from very successful people. So what I do is I literally study business people, athletes, friends, whoever. I learn from people's mistakes, and I study what these people do. So when we're talking about cryptocurrency, I look at some of the most successful businessmen in the world, and well, I guess I shouldn't say the most successful because some of the older guys are against it, but the more middle-aged people, they invest in cryptocurrency and they love it. So I think that in our lifetime, the US dollar will diminish. If not totally, very closely. Think of it. I want you, if you're listening to this, to stop and think for a second. Do you use cash? Myself, I don't use cash much. It's not because I don't have it. It's because I just put everything on my credit card. One, because I like to get the rewards.
Everyone's swiping because it's quick. You get rewards.
And we got, Uber,
Why wouldn't you?
Lyft, Grubhub, all these. I haven't even tapped into those food delivering services, but a lot of my friends that live downtown do.
Oh, they love it.
But I'm saying,
city boys love it.
There's no cash. It's all here, right? But then everyone's so against crypto, and I'm like, stop. use your head. Think for a second. I know there's a lot of them. I know there's not all regulated, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot going on.
Well, there's a lot of regulation going on right now. If anyone feels that cryptocurrency is still unregulated, I can guarantee you it is not. It's still high. It's becoming highly regulated, and I think that's the next part of the next process or point in why I think I'm long on Bitcoin is how it's actually moving on with the stock market, moving into regulation. And
Well, and that's what I was touching on a little bit when you're in the bathroom is how like all these successful people talk about it and invest in it. You look now like Amazon, Facebook.
Facebook's starting their own coin.
Yes, Facebook's starting their own coin. Amazon is gonna be implementing it.
And also Mark Zuckerberg was the one who talked some smack on it. He was talking smack on how cryptocurrency. Him and Chase, dude, forget his name, but they're all talking smack on it, and all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna start our own coin.
And now it's
Well, why are they doing that? Clearly because they're like there's
potential.
There's potential. It's not going anywhere.
That goes on what I'm saying. I like to study successful people or businesses. I look at how these people do things and I implement them in my own ways. So when you see Mr. Zucks creating a coin, a crypto, the fuck, open your eyes, folks. Like,
I'm buying that.
well, it just tells you that it's there. I'm not saying it's the coin. I'm not saying Bitcoin. I'm not saying any of them are the coin. The technology is the future.
Yep.
I don't think there's any arguing that.
Nope, there's not. Technology is definitely here to stay for quite some time. How long? We don't know. You know, the cassette tape didn't last long. Neither did the DVD.
Yeah, there's a lot.
But they were all successful and profitable, extremely.
Right. So we'll see how that goes. There are a lot of cool things being done in that space. But one thing that I think deters a lot of people is the fact that if you're Steve down the street right now and you don't know anything about crypto and you're like, I want to invest, it's not an easy process. It's easier now with Coinbase.
Oh, it's definitely it's a lot easier now. It's becoming a lot more user friendly, but it is still quite a headache.
Well, yeah. So for instance, like I love VeChain. So if you wanted to go buy that, and you don't have any crypto right now, like it's not just a process that's gonna happen in an hour. Like you literally have to create an account on one site, buy coins on that site, wait for your funds to clear, then transfer it, create a new, like, you know what I mean? So I do think that, obviously it's only going to get easier and simpler for people.
It has gotten a lot easier, simpler, just letting you know that.
Has it?
With funds clear and everything, yeah.
As I was saying.
Yeah, but it used to take like 24 hours, 48 hours. Some people back when the crypto boom happened, I know a lot of people are going to tell me I waited a week or two. Yeah, people waited a week or two for their funds to clear just because there was so much traffic that their servers, they could not handle it. They could not handle all the requests and all the information.
I waited a week when I deposited back when that was all starting, and I lost. One of the coins went up like $50 or whatever. It was a lot of money.
Yeah, it was like 10. It was like 15x or something like that.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, cool. I just think it's crazy. I think we're alive in a very interesting time. I mean, the fact that we're even on this podcast right now talking and people are listening.
We're alive at a time where now the internet isn't enough. People are developing the internet into other things like cryptocurrencies. It's becoming an own economy now.
It is crazy.
Pretty insane.
So for some people who don't know, and then if you have any insight, feel free to chime in. But for some people that don't know, like there's some like the coin that I like and I pay most attention to. It's called VeChain, and it enables people to track products. So for instance, like the wine industry in China, it's like absurd. It's in the billions of how many. Can't think of the word. Fake? What's the word I'm looking for? Fake goods. Counterfeit good. It's a huge industry, and it's counterfeit wine or counterfeit like Louis Vuitton bags, whatever. So this technology, if it works, it tracks the whole life cycle of a product. So I just want to
basically eliminates any possibility of error.
Yeah, it eliminates any possibility of error. So with that being said, you're buying like that.
You can't fraud a glass of wine.
Or that purse, that Louis Vuitton or whatever.
Nope. Nothing. Everything's going to be authentic. They're going to be harder. The black market's gonna be a little tougher to sell than fake J's in the corner, you know.
Exactly. So that's like, that's just one use for it, but there's so many. So I do think the technology is great, and if you think it's bullshit or whatever, I just encourage you to stop and think about where the world is going. Look,
Don't stop selling J's in the corner. That's the
no, still
hustle.
hustle. Like Gary Vee says, like you gotta hustle always. But yeah. Well, speaking of hustling, let's dive into a new topic for people who are like, yo, stop talking about crypto. The hustle. So you've been hustling for a while, and that hard work has enabled you to take some time off of work. How satisfying was that as you pour some whiskey?
Oh, with that whiskey pour too. Oh, it's pretty freaking satisfying. I'll tell you that much. It definitely feels good. You know, I feel like at least my goal wasn't ever like personal success. It was more just family success.
Yeah.
Being in a family-owned business, because it was like the success
Prestige.
of the business kind of
Correlates.
correlates with the success of the family. So I was like, dude, let's just hype this business up. Let's do dope, and everyone's gonna do dope.
Well,
so like
no, that's cool.
that's kind of, and it worked.
No,
So now I'm just like, I can't believe it even worked.
it's
Like,
you
what
said it
the
almost
frick?
feels fake sometimes, right?
Oh yeah, it feels fake. There are times I wake up and back in Golden home, I look out my beautiful condo window, got a gorgeous view of the Rockies right out there. I'm right in the front range over there, so like, I see the Rockies literally in my backyard,
That's dope. Yeah.
and I go, man, this isn't real. And then I realize, oh wait, this is real.
No, but that's cool, and what I respect on that is the fact that you put in the work, you put in the time. A lot of people, they see the finished product and they're like, dude, I'm jealous of you or whatever, and it's like, bro, like you don't understand like how many hours you work or don't go out on the weekends, and it's all because you're hoping and wishing that something turns out. Like in the end of the day, I don't want to say it's wasted, but you could totally put in all this work and then fail. Or not fail, but
Oh yeah, 100% could have failed.
So
I mean, I went to college, and I got associates. I'll be honest, I'm not doing much with them.
well, I know a lot of people who got degrees and paid a lot of money for school, and they're not that much better off than other people who didn't even go to school or didn't get a degree from that prestige of a school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So one thing you talked about a couple of minutes ago was success of the family. So one thing that I have recently discovered in the last 9 months is success to everyone is different. So like, for instance, to me, my version of success is I want to be well off. I don't want to have a lot of money to flaunt money. I want to be wealthy to the point where I can live life the way I want to live life. So if we're like, Tim, let's go to fucking Wyoming right now. I'll be like, let's go.
Yep. Buy a plane ticket, let's go.
I don't want to have to worry about that. So that is like one of my versions of success. However, another thing I will say that I've learned in the last year, as you know, I was with a girl for a little while who I really liked, and it just didn't work out. So
Yeah.
not on my end though.
Yep.
So long story short, we weren't even officially dating, but anyways, not to get into too many of the details, but I thought we were going to date, and then I haven't heard from her for 9 months. I still haven't, so it's over.
Literally ghosted.
Ghosted, but it wasn't, it was, yeah, whatever. It was, we were like together for 3 months, and then it was a ghost. It wasn't just like a week, you know?
Yeah, no, it was like 3 months, and then, hey, I don't exist anymore.
But it taught me a lot. So moving on past, she's a great girl. I'm not trying to down her.
Fantastic.
Yeah, she's great. Love
Cool
her.
as hell.
Awesome. But where I'm going with that is it taught me a lot. It taught me that money is nothing in the end of the day. It's about being happy. So tying back into my success, not only do I want to, be successful and be a little wealthy, but the main form in that I've really recently discovered in these last 9 months is the number one success, or I guess the number one reason, or I can't even think of what to say. The number one thing and most important thing to me is being happy. So
Yeah.
to you, it might be living in Colorado. To me, it might be living in Florida.
It is being happy. Like right now, living in Golden right now, I'm definitely leaving a lot of money on the table. I could be working, making a lot more money, situating myself better for the future, to say the least. But I chose, you know what, I this is something I really want to do, kind of like the ski bum lifestyle, and it's kind of just a sacrifice. It's just like in business, you make sacrifices, in life, you make sacrifices, and figure, work's gonna always be there when I get back.
That's what I'm saying. You got to do what you want to do. So for you, it was this, and it made you happy. One thing that I learned too when I was in Colorado for 2.5 years out there for school was like I didn't even know what day it was half the time. And no, I didn't smoke much. It wasn't because of that. It was because I was just living, man. Like wake
Yeah,
up, go to class, come
that's.
home, go to the
I'll be honest.
gym.
I don't know which day it is of the week. Anytime
That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
here right now, and I could have sworn today was Friday, but it's a Monday.
Yeah,
So
that's
I asked my dad today at work if today was Friday, and he literally goes, he's like, are you kidding me? It's Monday. I'm like, oh man, it feels like Friday.
But that's when you're doing something right because, and this is gonna lead us into a new topic. But when you don't give a shit about what day of the week it is, I've noticed that your life changes.
Yeah, you're just doing things that you want to do. So I don't know. Time to me, it feels like time is the thing. Is just I have this much time to do what I love, and I'm gonna keep doing what I love. And as I don't know, it just doesn't. There's sense of time isn't there, dude.
Right,
Like
because you like, or at least for me, and it sounds like you're kind of on the same path, is when you like what you do, and I'm not saying every day is perfect, so don't take it that way, but when you like what
not
you
even
do,
snowboarding. There's so many days where
you're like, fuck
I
this.
made myself go. My body's absolutely hurting, and I'm like, I'm gonna go because I moved out here to snowboard. So I'm gonna make myself do it to
You got,
live the ski bum lifestyle,
yeah, you got to do it,
and make myself go.
and then you're
And
happy after.
I'm happy as hell
You're happy
after.
you did it.
Just like with work, a lot of days a week, I'm like, I don't want to go to work today. Go to work, have a fantastic day, end up getting more than I want to accomplish, than I ever could imagine, and then I'm super stoked at the end of the day.
That's good. That's good. But and what I was saying too about the day, like I personally don't even like care what day it is, unless there's like plans on the weekend. But like I don't look for Friday and I'm like, woohoo! It's Friday at 6. Like for me, it's like, oh, it's Friday at 6. It's time to go crush a lift. It's time to come home, eat, refuel, chill, maybe play some Xbox, maybe read a book, maybe watch some Netflix, go to bed, wake up the next morning, work on my other business. So. Um, that's one thing that I've really also recently discovered in the last year or two is if you can find something where you're not like, oh fuck, it's Monday. I notice so many people like, oh my god, it's fucking Monday. Yo, people,
Dude,
learn to control your mind, and it's fucking
true.
crazy. Like if you
Stop
practice,
with the Snapchat Mondays.
I
The
know,
the Monday mood bullshit.
but
Stop
that's what
with
I'm
that.
saying. They're building.
Enjoy your Monday.
Everyone is like, Monday is associated with shit, and Friday is associated with best.
And it's literally only in your head.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
all in your
We
head.
just we just give these days a name.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like think of it. Right now, if we're like 400 years ago, I'm sure they didn't have like a Wednesday, dude. Maybe they did. I don't know.
No, it wasn't hump day.
It wasn't hump day. Hump day. No, but yeah. So that is one thing that I've learned too. Is just really try to embrace the day. And if you don't like what you're doing, I suggest you try something different. And people will tell me, dude, it's not that easy. Blah, blah. I'm like, I'm not saying it's easy, man. But if you're unhappy every fucking day of your life, why the fuck are you doing it?
Like, why you gotta wait till Wednesday to get frisky with someone? Like, you should be able to do that any day that you want. That's how your day should be. You should be doing things any day of the week that you want to be doing them. You should be working at the things that you want to be working at.
And that's the
It
thing.
shouldn't be like, oh yeah, Saturdays for fun. No, if you want to have fun on a Tuesday, you should be going to have fun on a Tuesday. And if you want to work Saturday, work Saturday.
No, and that is, well, I will say that not everyone has that freedom just based on, schedule and work, but that's something that ultimately, like, I would like to achieve is, like, if I do decide I want to take a day off during the week, or, if you ever have kids or whatever, like, you can go to one of their, you could do these things. Um, so yeah, I do think that is something that can work or be cool. But building in on mindset, that's another thing that I've really learned a lot about is the power of your mind and how like everything you're in your entire world is in your head. So like and we're getting deep right here. This might be some of the whiskey. But
Maybe some of the whiskey.
when you do that, it's really crazy, man. Like used to like let a customer like come in and be all cranky, and it would totally fuck up my day.
Dude,
It
I
would
used to have
fuck
clients.
my day up.
Dude, I used to have a couple like super old school Eastern European clients that just smoked cigarettes, drank coffee, and hated the world. Like old school construction dudes. And man, they would just mess up my day, dude, for like a solid 2 years of my life, man.
And that's the thing, is like one little quick like rude remark or comment or their
Oh,
negativity,
it would just piss me off like that, dude,
and it just fucks you.
immediately.
So I don't know about you, but me, I've learned, and I'm not perfect at this by any means. I was actually talking to my buddy Mario about this yesterday, but it's a process like anything. But you got to learn, or you don't have to learn. This is something I've learned, and I suggest you try to learn. Like I said, it's not easy. But you got to, like, I've tried to learn to control my own mindset to the point of, or when I'm around other people, I should say. So if I'm around some, like, grouch, I just try not to let that energy affect me. Or when some customer comes in and is all pissed off, God knows why, just at life, and they take it out on you, you just brush it off. And there's times where I will literally, like, laugh. I literally laugh when they leave.
Yep.
Because I'm just like, I feel so bad for that
That's
person.
hilarious you said that, because I laughed today at work because so we did a job and we did flooring, and we told the guys, the painters, that not to paint ahead because sometimes we get dust on the walls, or not dust but like stain or debris or stuff happens. You rub against, your hands are a little dirty. So they told me just to like prime and throw the first coat down, not the final. And the final wasn't down, but we got a little on the wall. And then the dude was complaining about it, and then after that, he complains that we didn't sand and stain the cold base, which the way we had with design with the client was not to. She wanted that painted, and this guy, you could totally smell him, hungover as hell, like reeked of some old school Polish like vodka, you know, and just cranky. My dad was so funny.
Was it the customer?
No, that was
the painter.
it was a painter.
Oh, okay.
He was complaining, and my dad looks at him and kind of like doesn't want to laugh, and I'm upstairs while they're having this conversation. And as soon as I hear that you can't, he goes, I can't paint it. And my dad goes, why can't you paint it? The guy goes, I don't know, I can't. As soon as he says that, I'm upstairs and I'm holding the buffer in my hands. I let go of it, drop down to my knees, and start laughing because I go, that is one of the dumbest remarks in the world. It's one of the easiest. It's literally a straight line. You just cut it with the paintbrush. Super easy thing to paint. But he's like, no, I can't. Simply because that dude was drinking water till like noon,
right,
trying to like sober up.
Right.
He was just absolutely cranky. But my dad was like, I have nothing on this. Like, I don't even care about your shitty attitude.
Right.
And like, luckily, I mentored under him. So not only did I learn the tricks of the trade, I also learned the tricks to attitude and business through him too.
I learned that,
which I was lucky to have.
No, I learned that from my dad too. Everyone always says that I'm good at talking to people, and I've just been doing it my whole life. I've always been around business.
It's like as they get older, they know what to give a fuck about and what not to give a fuck about.
And talking about, sorry to cut you off. Did I cut you off?
No, go ahead.
What I was like about talking to people. One thing that I've learned and that I've became, I don't want to say good at, like I'm talking good about myself, but what I've learned is going back to the early in this episode, the podcast, when we talked about throwing yourself in crazy situations. Well, when I was 19 and 20, I was training dogs, and I was giving people private lessons, and I would be standing in front of, 35 to 60-year-old people. Families, husband and wives, successful people, people that are making six figures. I'm making like minimum wage, and you just gotta figure it out and get comfortable with it. So like now, I just told myself like you can do it, but I think that ties back to, that painter is in his mind. He said he can't do it, when it's like you don't have to have that mindset. I'm not telling you what to do, but you don't want to live with the I can't mindset.
No, not I can't. The reason he said he can't was literally because he was just crankier than hell, dude.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. It's like, dude, like I don't even know how to paint like the right way, but I'm like, dude, like I just figured like that would not be a complicated concept.
No, it's not
You'd
at all.
Figure it out.
Oh man.
But most people get in these situations, they get flustered, and they're like, I can't, and it's like, dude, take a deep breath. You can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just chill, breathe, go outside, take a walk or something, come back. I don't know, but yeah.
That's actually what he did. He went out, went to his car, smoked about 8 cigarettes, and drank a
But
bunch
see,
of
that's the
water.
thing, though. That's what I don't like is people use they
These
can't
vices,
handle
dude. These
they can't handle
vices.
their problems, so they need to use a substance. Which
Tobacco is a substance, in my
no,
opinion.
yeah, anything. I'm talking any substance, anything that you use to make you feel better. So diving into substances a little, actually not substances, but instead of like smoking cigarettes or drinking after work, if you had a wrong day, like I'm a huge advocate of working out. What do you
Yeah,
think about that?
definitely.
So,
Physical activity is 100% important in your mental health and overall
so
opinion.
speaking on the physical activity, our good friend, my good friend Jillian Summerfield, she'll be on this show later. She's badass, but she always talks about when you feel down, you just gotta get up and like move.
Yeah.
Dude, she dances. She loves dancing, and I sometimes when I was in a down spot, I'd fucking dance, bro. I probably looked dumb as fuck, but it was just me.
Yeah,
But
dude.
like
If that's to get you feeling good,
you
why
just gotta
not?
get up and she says like get up and move or get up and dance, and so thanks for that, Jill. She's the best. But no physical activity. Myself, I think it's huge, and so many people will like, oh, I like, dude, all you do is work out or this, that, and the other, and they don't really say that anymore. But when I first started getting into this lifestyle, because it really is a lifestyle, um, they'd kind of hit on you for it. It's like, bro, you don't even understand. It's not just about the physique. It's about your mindset. You're training your mind. Uh, when tell yourself you're gonna do 8 reps of a heavy weight and you hit 5 and you're like, fuck, dude, I can't barely even move this one more. But you told yourself, I hit 8, I gotta do it. You do it. Oh, if you do it, you're training your mind, And not only are you training your mind, but you for me, it's a great way to alleviate that stress that you might have built up from a long day at work or an argument with whatever it is.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. I agree with that. Luckily, though, you see, it's great. This is why I love my trade. Heart of Florida. They get to work physically.
Same with dog training, dude. I'm on my feet all
I
day.
get to work physically, man. And these last couple months moving to Colorado, I've been trading crypto, so I've been sitting down quite a bit. And I noticed, like, yeah, I do good. I make a good amount of money, but I don't feel well. Like, I don't feel good. Like, I still have to go and I like me. I go outside. I do a trail run, get a good 3, 4, 5 miles in, and but still, it doesn't feel good as working with my hands, man. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel good as a full 8 hours of just hard fucking labor and just creating, like for me at least, creating a dope set of dope floors that are just absolutely gorgeous and bring our house to life.
Well, that's, I mean, I obviously I've never done a floor, but I can relate as far as we have a snowplow business. And like you said, at the end, you look at the floor and it's finished and it's fucking dope and it looks great. I would get that same satisfaction plowing snow because you come in and there's 10 inches of fucking snow and everyone's sliding off the road and shit, and you're just laughing at them because you're just in 4-wheel drive and they're in like a little like Mitsubishi like Lancer or whatever. I don't maybe no that I
Yep.
feel like that might be decent in snow, but you get the point. And you clean up this driveway and it's like art, dude. Like you come out of it and it just looks like good, looks clean. So if I had to assume, I guess that would be the same way for housing. But yeah, being working on your feet all day, it definitely gets tiring. But I think it beats just sitting down because sitting down I can't do it for more than like 10 minutes, or I'm like, fuck, get me out of here.
No, man, I can't do either.
We got the same attitude.
Like, man, when I'm trading, I have my
Oh,
laptop,
yes.
and I'll be honest, like, I probably move around my house about 10 times
Oh,
within like 2 hours. Like, I'm in my room, I'm on my porch, in my kitchen, on my couch, back on the porch, back
just
in my
all over. Your
room.
neighbor's like, what is this fucking meth head doing?
Oh my god, the guy probably. First of all, the ladies downstairs hate us
Um,
because they're adamant that I don't know how to walk, that I walk on my heels. Given I do walk a little bit heavy, because
that
after
isn't a
like,
bad excuse.
but like after a full day of snowboarding, and my legs are sore as hell and feel like boulders. Yeah, I'm gonna walk a little bit heavy. And you know what? I'm sorry if you hear this. I don't feel bad.
If you,
Sorry, I'm not sorry.
Let me pause you. If you are complaining about how someone walks you need to reevaluate your life. I'm gonna leave it at that. And if they hear me, I'm very sorry, but actually I'm not sorry at all. But yeah, so that's that. But so let's. Do we have anything else we wanted to say on that, or are we kind of good there? I feel like I'm good.
I'm pretty good on it. Yeah.
I got another topic I want to bring up. So I've created this podcast with the hopes of sharing my message, my journey, and all the guests' journeys, and where they're at, struggles, and anything they've gone through. So has there been, and I'll give you a second to think about this because I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but I'm going to talk about some of what I've gone through, but I didn't know if you had any things that, hindered your work, because when you work for yourself, like, you ultimately have to get up and fucking go. If you don't do it, no one's going to do it for you, so you have to do it. So for me, and I'll give you a second to think about that, but for me, starting your own business isn't all like glitz and glamour. Like, there's a lot of ups and a lot of downs. Like, you'll be on a roll for a while. You're like cranking everything out. You're doing good, and then all of a sudden you get ghosted by this girl you really like, and next thing you know, like, your world's upside down.
Yeah.
And but you can't let that affect you, but it does affect you. So it's like, how do you overcome that? You go to the gym. You take it in. So there's a lot of these struggles that people don't see. And some of the most successful people I've seen, some of my mentors, all these guys have gone through a lot of shit. And people don't see the shit. They see the flash when they get to wherever they are. Not saying you have to get anywhere, but one of my mentors, a millionaire mentor on Instagram, his name's Jason Stone. I mean, we've talked about some of the things he's gone through and how he overcomes them, and I think it's crazy because the mindset I've really developed in the last couple of years is like, failure. You don't really fail in business. You learn.
You fail when you quit.
Exactly. You fail when you quit. So if you're stubborn, like you are a little bit, and like I am, just don't fucking quit.
No way.
If you don't quit, you gotta win. You might lose 800 times, but the 801st time you're going to win. So would you say, like, what would be the biggest or, thing that you've had to, like, not to say overcome, I don't want to, like, get too personal, but, like, one of the problems or hardships of, like, working for yourself that's affected you,
The biggest one I have, it is pretty personal, but I'll say I'm pretty comfortable with it. But is, I was going to school, 20 years old. No, I was 19, about to be. Oh yeah, I just turned 20. Yeah, it was happening in August. I just turned 20. I was working for my dad. I was going to school. I was taking 14 credit hours a week, and I was working 50 hours a week. And in August, I think it was like August 15th, that year, my father had a heart attack. And so at that point, I was running. Previous to his heart attack, I was still learning his business. But basically at the point where now it was like he had a heart attack and he couldn't work. So when that happened, like, I woke up that morning and I kind of knew, like, I don't know, for me, man, it was like a switch just flipped in my head. I'm like, all right, this is it. It's time to go and do. Like, in my head, I was like, failure isn't an option. Like, I can't stop. I can't quit no matter what. So I kept going to school. I cut my hours. That semester, I didn't cut my hours. I finished all 14 hours and worked 60-hour weeks and then up with a 3.8.
Damn.
If anybody says they can't do it, just so you know, it's really easy. You just got to not hang out with your friends. And you're not going to sleep a lot, but just make sure you eat good because that'll help you out. Yeah, fuel. Fuel is important. But I did that, and then basically, since my dad was sick, I ended up running more operations. I took responsibility for more things, and all this was like, for me, it was just test after test after test after test. And the amount of times that I fucked up, my God, dude. The amount of times that I fucked up.
On the tests or on business?
On business.
Oh.
The amount of times I fucked up my dad, it costed us money, was immaculate. But I was lucky to have him there, so fixes were always pretty quick, and he helped that out. Yeah. And then basically continuing my education. I ended up getting an associate in liberal arts, associates in accounting, associates in finance, promoting community college. Nothing spectacular. Again, like I said, did nothing with it.
No, but I
But
mean, so yeah,
that
that's
was
definitely.
by far the hardest because it was literally getting thrown to the wolves, learning on the go, and being responsible for basic company, which ended up being I can honestly say probably the best thing that's ever happened to me because
Well,
it made me a man and made me who I am today.
well, speaking of making you into what you are today and flipping a switch, and you know how that with your dad happened. Well, my dad also had a heart attack. I'm not going to dive into that right now because it's a long story. But what flipped the switch for me was the fact that I got into that car accident. So
Yeah,
if you don't
crazy
if you
ass one.
don't know, um, I graduated 2 years ago, so it was October of 16. So, or excuse me, December of 2016, I graduated college. So my grandmother passed away like October 7th or somewhere around there, um, early October. So I flew home from Durango, Colorado, went to the funeral, blah blah blah. I came home to Durango. I landed. I got in my car. It was a rough freaking uh, trip. Like my freaking plane got delayed. My grandma just passed away. Whatever. It was all messed up. But so I get off the car. Excuse me. I get off the plane. I get in the car and I'm driving up back to school. Half hour. It's Monday night. Huge football fan at the time, so I wanted to catch the Cardinals. I forget who they were playing, but I know they were playing. And I wanted to catch that game for fantasy football purposes. And I see a deer on the road. I'm going like 80 or 90. I swerve to avoid it. I flip my car upside down. Like I literally thought I was gonna die as it was happening. My three thoughts were fuck,
Shit.
shit, I'm over, like I'm dead, and then I'm upside down spinning, and I see sparks on the freaking floor, or excuse me, on the street, but right in front of my face because I'm upside down, and I'm like, get the
You're probably thinking your shit's about to explode at that
that's what
point.
I thought. I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here before the shit explodes. And then later, the paramedics told me cars don't explode that often. It's more in the movies, so
Oh, thank God.
whatever. But at that point, moral of the story is, how I even survived that. I wasn't even wearing a seatbelt. I ended in the passenger seat side, so I think that actually saved me because if you look at the car,
Barely even scratches is from what I know.
yeah, well, the car was totaled. The driver's side was smushed in. So I think not wearing my seatbelt actually saved me. I
But what
crawled
did you
out.
have? Like,
I had a cut on my elbow, and I played in a football game the next day.
yeah.
And then 2 days later, then I went to the hospital. I thought I was concussed, but I wasn't.
No, you're
Um,
just in shock probably from all the, yeah.
yeah, but my point is it was amazing what happened because it changed my fucking life. Like it changed how I think. It changed what I do. It changed everything. And it was like my grandma like left me a note saying like, don't fuck around anymore. Like get shit done. And it's like ever since that day, I'm like, I got to do this, this, and this, and I'm not gonna stop until I do it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what's in my way. I'm gonna get over it. Now, like I said, it's not a smooth process. But my point is I think it's crazy. Not everyone has these situations, but when you have a situation that's like literally life changing like that, like for you with your dad and for me with this car accident, it's crazy because I'm literally like a new person after it. Like I decided I'm not gonna go out a lot anymore, and I'm gonna work towards my goal because I could die any day. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think that's crazy how well you had a similar instance. And I didn't even really know that, but yeah, I think it's cool and just interesting how things like that happen.
But what else was crazy was like I think it was 4 days before my dad had a heart attack. I got an academic scholarship to DePaul. It was not a great school, but still, I was gonna go to.
Pretty good school.
Yeah, it was like what 60%, 65% scholarship. And when they had a heart attack, I had to send a no to the scholarship saying I'm not gonna go away for college. I gotta stay and work. So I basically threw away
A degree.
a degree in college education,
But had I'm
which
also
I look back at. Thank God I didn't go to college.
no, but I'm saying, and that's the thing. I think everything happens for a reason. You know
Oh
what I mean?
man, I look back. I had so many nights, man, so many months on end. I was so salty that I didn't go to college. All my friends were at college, having the time of their lives, and I'm over here working like a slave, sweating over a hot, freaking a big belt handing machine. I'm sweating. I'm slaving. It's hot. I'm dusty. It's nasty. It smells bad. But now, you know,
It all kind of comes around, and you kind
I'm
of see
yeah.
why it happened.
Yep.
And that's what I've realized too. Is like just looking back at my education and things, like things happen for a reason. I didn't do this, I didn't do that, but then because I did this happened.
Like,
And
dude, in my final semester at Oakton, when I was finishing up the associates in was finance, uh, dude, it was finals week, and my dad, mom, and sister decided they went like weeks, months before they decided they wanted to go on vacation. My dad never goes on vacation, or mom, so I'm like, like I was fully supportive of them going. But for them to go, it meant that I would have to stay at home and take care of the business. And the week that they decided to go was finals week. Not only did they decide to go on that finals week, we were renovating the house, and we were redoing the floor. So I was responsible for running. There was 3 projects that we were working on that week, studying for finals and doing finals, and responsible for renovating the house in that week because they had to get the rooms done because they weren't home, so I could move their furniture actually out and get them done. Dude, that week I think I slept the whole week. I think I slept like what was it, maybe 10 hours the whole week. Terrible, worst week of my life. But I look back and I go, you know what? If I didn't do that, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now.
No, that's yeah. I
By
mean,
any means.
sometimes you gotta do the shit that sucks. Well, not sometimes. You have to go through the fucking shit
You will have to go through it at some
in
point to some
anything.
degree.
If you're
There
trying
is
to,
no avoiding it.
no, there's no avoiding it. No, whether it's sports, work, relationships, whatever it is, like you're gonna have rough times. What defines you is kind of how you, go get through those times. I think.
It's how you come out of it.
And then you gain this confidence that you can't even explain. Like
No, you can't.
I've gone
man.
through some stuff, and I come out of it, and I'm like, damn, man. Like when I was in it, I was like, this is it. I'm never gonna get that grind hustle back that I had, blah blah blah. And then when it comes back, and you're like, it makes you realize, like, if shit happens to me again, bring it on, baby. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to go through any more shit, but
No, but you know what? Like my dad always says, shit's part of life, man. It's gonna come, and how you deal with it is what makes you you.
One of my customers at our kennel actually told me that she's like, what'd she say? She was like, it only gets crazier.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, fuck.
Oh yeah, that's what my dad said. But he always tells me that because he's been through shit too. Like when he fled with communist Romania, it was like if you got caught fleeing, they would shoot you. Not shoot you. But they'll basically they'll beat you up so bad that you'd be messed up the rest of your life.
Right.
Make sure that you don't die though.
Right. So you have to live it.
Yes, you gotta live it. So kind of worse than dying in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like my dad would say, "De lasso no cheat," which means like you're limping or you got like a bad, you know what I mean? Like you got a bad gimp or something like that. And then even when he got to other countries, there was like with Jews in the Holocaust, there were prices to turn them in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he told me his story, so.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Kind of back to where I was going, like he's got so much experience and knowledge. For me, he always says, like kind of what I went through with him. He kind of says that, oh, you're a little ahead of everybody else because prior to my dad having the heart attack too,
right.
It was a year prior to that his father died, and 2 months prior to his father, my grandpa died. His father, my cousin, his nephew passed away in a motorcycle accident. So it was literally one after another.
When it rains, it pours.
Yeah, you see a bag of luck comes in threes?
Yeah,
it comes in threes, man.
Damn. Well, that's crazy.
But going through that, like,
now,
I don't know, you kind of run into other instances in life that are tough, and you go, well, it ain't that hard.
That's what I'm saying. That accident, for instance, for me, like, I'll run into, like, I'm in Chipotle, and some lady's, like, I don't know, taking forever, and then she's, like, apologizes to me after. It's like, or no, I was at Roadie the other day, that's where it was, and the lady, like, messed up on the girl before me's order, and she's apologizing to me. I'm like, why are you apologizing to me, woman? Like, I don't care. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm saying, like, I genuinely, if you're having a bad day,
it doesn't bother me.
Affect me, man. Like, you're here to make my food, and I'm going to treat you like a good person.
And it's like, I understand that people are going to something. Because I've been there, dude.
Actually.
Like, it's like a sense of like, all right, I get it. How can I make your day better?
Right, and that's what people don't understand. And actually, this is a perfect example for what we want to say. I order from this food place next to my work all the time, and they know me because I'm there, like, every day. And I thought I left my wallet there, so I called them, and I'm like, Chris, I left my wallet there. He left me on hold for 8 minutes, and I was driving on the highway, so my phone was on speaker or my Bluetooth, so I didn't care. I just left it there. And then after 8 minutes, I just hung up because I realized I know that he's a business owner, and I know that he has 8 million things going on in his head. And I've had that same thing happen where I have like people on hold for me, and I just forget because someone comes up to me and is like, Jimmy, blah 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 blah. We need to get this done, this, that, and that. And then I'm like, 20 minutes later, I'm like, fuck.
I feel like
I never,
called
not even called back. I left him on hold.
Yep.
So he left me on hold. But so anyways, today I'm in there, and he's like,
Oh,
oh my God,
man.
Jimmy, I'm so sorry. I was looking for it, and I didn't find it, and then this happened. I'm like, Chris, you're good, bro. Like, honestly, I totally forgot I even called you because that's not even on my mind right now.
Oh, dude.
But I'm like, dude, you're good, man. Like, I understand how it works. So I think people need to be more understanding. Open mind and understanding. But we've been talking for a while, so gonna cut this off here soon. But before, one question that I decided I'm gonna ask people. So you're 26.
26 years young, still feeling like I'm 18.
If you could go back to when you were 18 and the first day you graduated high school, what would you tell yourself? As far as, like, in terms of business. Like, you tell, an 18-year-old right now.
Put me on the spot, dude. Why
Yeah,
don't you?
sorry.
All right. Give me a couple seconds. I mean,
Yeah, we'll give him a couple seconds.
What would I tell myself, dude? 18 years old.
I mean, as far as, like, or like if you could give him a tip, you don't have to necessarily give him your life story, but if you could give him like a tip or two on what to do to maybe be successful in business or like a relationship or.
Don't worry about other people.
Oh, that's a good one.
Don't worry about other people, and what I mean by that is literally don't worry about what they say about you. Don't worry about what they think you're doing is if it's crazy, if it's irrational, if they don't, just because they don't see it doesn't mean it's not there.
So that's a great response because in my first introduction episode I talk about careful who you take criticism from because certain people have different views and norms, and if you're trying to do like go live in Colorado for instance, people told you you're crazy, dude, like what the fuck are you doing, this and the other. I've had people tell me that all the time when I told them I want to do this by the time I'm 35 or 40, and they're like, dude, you're insane, like have realistic goals. And at first,
what the fuck is realistic to you and what's realistic to me are two different things, man.
But then what I always say is I'm like, you think Mark fucking Zuckerberg and Bill Gates and all these Warren Buffett, you think they had realistic goals?
Hell no.
So you have to develop this sense of stubbornness or, just persistence, tenacity. You know what I mean? So I think I would tell myself that same thing. Yeah. So fist bump on that one.
Hell yeah, dude.
But I would tell myself that same thing as an 18-year-old because I used to care what people think about me. Now I don't. I'm on here right now. We're talking about dope shit.
There were so many things that I had so many damn good ideas when I was younger, and I knocked myself because of how other people knocked me, and I'm like, man, I should just. I look back and I'm like, man, I had it. I had something, dude, and I could have gone somewhere with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. For young ones too listening out there, stick to it, dude.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. People are going to tell you can't. People are going to tell you won't, blah, blah, blah. And then once you do it, they're going to be like, damn, how'd you do it? So I think that is going to be a very good spot to kind of end this. So all in all, whatever you're doing in life, whether you want to do big things, whether you value your freedom more or your free time or whatever it is, just do it, Don't listen to other people's judgment. Or what I say is I listen to people's judgment who have been through what I have gone through. So I'll talk to one of my very good friends, Mario, a lot because he's done some similar stuff and he's way further along in this process than I am, but he is relatable. Or I'll talk to one of my mentors and I'll ask him questions because he's gone through what I've gone through. So if you're asking someone for advice who hasn't gone through the same thing, they're just going to give you their outside opinion. So,
which don't get me wrong, they can still be right.
No, yeah.
They can have good input, so don't just knock them either.
No, don't knock them, but
take their input too. But
yeah, take the input.
Great assault.
You know what I mean, though? Like, what I'm going to say this, and then I'll let it go. Is like, for instance, I used to give friends advice on their relationships, and at that point, I'd never really been in a serious relationship. And then, after going through some stuff, you realize, like, at least myself, I'm like, damn, I used to tell a couple of the good homies, like, just forget about her, this, that, and the other, and then I'm like, it ain't that easy,
No,
you
and
know what I
then
mean?
yep.
So, yeah, definitely. But cool, we're going to end on that note. 18-year-old self, tell yourself to not really take other people's opinions of you too harsh, because in the end of the day, you got to just do what you want to do, because you'd be surprised when you put your mind to something what you can do. So with that being said, Tim, I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Dude, thanks for having me.
I think that went well for our first episode.
I think that went amazing. I think we got something going here.
I think we do. So with that being said, if anyone needs a fucking floor or whatever you do.
If anyone needs any floors are finished or new installation, new homes, just need a fresh coat, hit me up, TLT Flooring, Tim Cauni, 847-254-5088. Or you could also hit up my father at also Tim Cauni Sr. at 847-980-0141. For all your flooring needs, TLT Flooring, thank you guys.
So with that
Thank
being
you,
said,
Jimmy.
yeah, I'll put that in the description too. They were gonna do some work for us, so they do some good jobs. If they didn't, I wouldn't say that. But I'll also put his Instagram on here if you guys want to follow any of his cool adventures or check out some dope floors. So with that being said, this is Jimmy C with the Instapreneur podcast. We thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great night.